So dope. Hippocampus is a dope indie band dropping their new album LP3 next week. And they just released their latest single, Ride or Die. And that cool video you just watched. Chat, give it up for Jake, Nathan, Zach, DeCarlo, and Whistler.
Arrow.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up, guys? What is up?
You guys turned your camera off. If you don't mind turning it back.
Can't see. Oh, there you are. You went from a little box to
happened.
a bunch of hype dudes, which we're so excited to have on the show today. People in the chat are showing you guys so much love. They're like, come to this place, come to Vancouver, come to Chicago, come to this place. So very excited to have you on the show today. We want to start out by talking a little bit about how you guys came together, how you guys met. I know that you guys met at the St. Paul Conservatory for Performing Artists. And you guys have a background, several of you guys in jazz, in opera. Wanted to know how you guys kind of developed your current sound, because it's very different.
Yeah, so only he was in opera, and you fantastic, by the way. You had a full career ahead of you that you threw away for this.
Oh God, thank you.
I feel like the only real jazz players, Carl, he went to school for it. But we came together.
Hey, you can swing. You guys can swing.
You
cats
think?
can swing.
Thank you.
These cats
Thanks,
can
Cat.
swing.
Yeah, we couldn't play our own music at school, so we just had to like make our own bands outside of it, and then we just sort of like kept jamming.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we didn't write jazz tunes or operas. So we just wrote like what we liked. It was a lot of bad songs, and then we didn't think this was going to happen. But thank you for having us.
Yeah. Okay. So question, because you said that you guys were in different bands, right? How did you guys come together? Because I'm always curious how that works. Like, were you guys just like, you know what, I'm ditching these guys and going with these guys?
Yes.
He was
Kind
actually
of.
one of them.
Yeah.
He got ditched.
That's fully what happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I hit up Jake and Zach, and I was like, we shouldn't tell anybody about this. It should be completely anonymous.
Should be completely
And then I like immediately like hit somebody else up that I knew and was like, spread the word, but don't tell anybody. And then
very confusing.
yeah, I don't know why. It was kind of a tricky situation.
Yeah. Like, were your old bandmates like pretty pissed about it? And I imagine like today, just seeing the like heights that you guys have reached, I imagine there may be some saltiness, no?
Nah, we're good. Yeah.
I lived with two of the members of Zach and I's band up until like
2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so
I love that. I love that. So yeah, it sounds like still like a good vibe, still good energy, still support there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still great.
Alex and
Exactly.
Joey and David, we support you.
Yeah, one of them ended up being our visual artist
Look
for
at that.
these years. So he's made all of our albums, artwork, and stuff.
Love that. Love that so much. So you guys have a very, very distinctive sound. And I am curious because I know you guys are from St. Paul, Minnesota, right? So how much of that sound is influenced by where you guys kind of came up and came together?
None of it.
Almost done.
I guess like the high school experience that we had, all of the students that went there, like that was definitely a big influence. But I guess the city itself, kind of difficult. A lot of our initial inspirations for even forming the band were like British indie artists, like Bombay Bicycle Club and Little Comets. That's dinosaurs. They're from Australia, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I think that like the high school experience definitely influenced our sound, just because the people that we were surrounded by were way more talented than we are, and I think that was kind of like, you know, that rubbed off on like us trying to get better as a band and as a group. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talk about the high school experience and being impacted by that. But what would you say kind of has led to you guys' evolution nowadays and like the things that you guys are most inspired by and kind of inject into your music now?
Wow. A lot of different stuff.
Taxes, depression,
High school.
All the grown-up things that people hate.
Custody battles.
Legal fees, they're through the roof.
We don't have any kids.
landscaping.
I guess I guess working on our own interpersonal relationships. Touring as much as we did between 2015 and 2020. There was a lot of fraught emotions and turmoil, and just sorting all that out, smoothing out the wrinkles, and trying to be better friends to each other and with each other, and that's kind of the number one goal, I think, day to day.
Yeah. Did you guys, you just made me think about this, but in the height, and I'm always like leery about saying in the height of the pandemic, because I feel like we're still kind of there. But like, when it first happened back in like April 2020, did you guys live with each other or stay with each other during like that really, really tough time? Or did you guys kind of go your separate ways?
Well, yeah.
We were recording the album that is coming out in like 2 weeks during that period. We'd been working for like a month, and then like about March 13th, we were all like getting up at the studio every day, and then we were like, let's take the weekend off. I think this like COVID thing is kind of real. Like it might be a thing. So we were like, okay, we'll get up on Monday. And then it's been like a year and a half. And, we did get back up eventually. We just started sending each other files to work on the music, but we lived together. And so we couldn't get away, but we hung out, when it felt safe to hang out.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about LP3 and just kind of how that was made. I'm always curious about like the writing, especially when it comes to a band. Jake, are you doing majority of the writing, or is it kind of a contribution that all of you guys like, I don't know, contribute to, or like, how does that work?
It's a fully collaborative process. There are like songs that come in at different points. Like Ride or Die, for example, was something that we wrote all the room together. There's some other tracks where like they were written out fully before they came in and then they changed, but it's definitely not a thing where like an entire song is like fully done and brought in and just like printed. I think the important part about Hippocampus is like each of us writing our own parts and playing our own thing.
Yeah. Where did you guys start when it came to Ride or Die? Did you guys start with a beat? Did you guys start with like, where'd you guys begin there?
It was a jam, right? We were jamming.
I had like a voice memo of like a guitar part. It was kind of country with that same melody over it. And then it like, you guys were like, I don't really like that. And then and then we got in the room and tried it. And then you laid down those chords, I think, or Zach.
Yeah.
And it kind of reframed it in a cool way.
Right.
And then Worcester put a classic hippo beat on there.
Yeah, slowly pieced the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah. And then we started recording it. We started recording it like the same day that we wrote it.
Oh wow.
With our producer Caleb.
Yeah.
So we kind of like assembled it, and then I went to take a nap and finish the.
Yeah.
So
I was sleeping. I was so excited hearing what was happening downstairs.
I imagine that because it's such a collaborative process, there isn't, or maybe there is a point where at the end of writing something, is there ever a time when like a couple of you are like, that's kind of trash, like let's throw that out? Or like, how does that work if it ever does happen?
We write a lot. Like every record we try and bring in like, 20 to 30 songs. So we're not very like precious over like what makes the final cut. We just work on as many things as we possibly can and then whittle it down at the end of the day. But there's definitely trash. Yeah, I would agree with that statement.
Yeah, we just try not to say it like that because we get hurt by each other's words. And like, you think I'm trash?
I love that. So do you guys, out of curiosity, do you guys ever go back and listen to your older stuff like Tarzan Rejects and think like, wow, we've come so far?
Hell no.
I haven't heard that EP in a long time.
Yeah, that shit is trash.
I don't even know where you
I
find
think-
it.
I think there's like a period of distance from something where you can appreciate it. I feel like I've at least like personally entered that with the EPs, where I listen back to the EPs and I'm like, oh, this is actually really cool. But I don't think I'm there with Landmark, and definitely not there with Bambi, to where I could listen to it and be like, oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Here's sad little children screaming for help.
So, for your new album, can you kind of talk about what kind of like sounds you guys tapped into? Like, what can we expect from it?
A little bit of everything. It's kind of a old country buffet of the record.
I love that.
It's pretty
Cheap.
homemade. I think like there's a DIY quality to
Yeah.
it,
Mhm.
which goes in stark contrast with the past two records. Our studio was broken a lot, so it's like pretty scrappy.
Yeah.
Um,
There's some like iPhone artifacts in there too. I feel like that just
Yeah.
like when we went remote and we were all locked down and shit, like just like having to send iPhone recordings back and forth to everybody.
Mm.
But I don't really know. I don't know. It kind of just shaped up the way it shaped up. We weren't really thinking too hard about it. A lot of songs also didn't make the record, which I also think informed how the final product came out in a weird, like, what's the word?
Puzzle.
No.
Puzzle pieces.
By omission, I think, which is an interesting concept, I guess. But yeah, totally.
there's like 15 songs like 2 years ago, and then a year ago it was like 13, and then
Just kept whittling
6
it
months
down.
ago
Wow.
it was 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. For the songs that didn't make it, I'm kind of curious to know how you guys decided, okay, we want these to be in it. And then second part of the question is, would you guys ever use those songs later on?
Totally.
Okay.
I think it's just a conversation that we have with whatever producer we're working with at the time. Feelings towards certain songs change as time goes by, and the compromise there is always something that you're shooting for. I think just trying to make everybody happy at the end of the day. But in the past, yeah, we've almost always brought things back to release on future projects. I think that happened with our previous EP, Good Dog Bad Dream, and then our Warm Glow EP. Yeah, we're always kind of bringing back old ideas. I don't think that we want to. It's always hard saying goodbye to songs, but
Yeah.
we never want to truly see them wasted, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of made reference to Good Dog, Bad Dream that you guys released. I was kind of curious, what made you guys drop a smaller project like that last year? Was it like a pandemic project, or can you kind of talk about that?
We had the track Mojo Jojo for the record, and we really liked it, but it didn't really fit in on the record just because it was so manic. So we discussed making an EP with that vibe to fit into it. Nathan had Eat Fake and Where To Now from like 3 years ago, which I always liked, or 2 years ago, something like that. So those songs stuck out to me, and then I wrote Bad Dream around the same time, and it was like, oh, I think all this stuff could fit together.
All this stuff is pretty manic.
Yeah, it's very manic, like energetic stuff. We were thinking like what would be the most fun to play live, because the pandemic was like sort of letting up a little bit at that point,
Mhm.
and we thought we were going to be playing shows, which obviously didn't work out in our favor.
Totally.
We didn't really. We did like a very short run, and then we all wrote Sex Tape together in the room. So it was just like a very quick burst. I think we made the whole EP in like a week.
And we had just moved into this spot that we're in right now, and so we kind of wanted to christen it and see how things would go, just working on things entirely on our own, without any producers.
Dope.
And yeah, it was kind of wipe the slate clean, and Bob's your uncle. Whatever, man. Come on.
I love it. So one of the questions that I had asked, I think I heard one of you guys say that, like, I think it was Jake who said he would never like listen to Landmark or something like that. But I know for a lot of people that's their favorite album. When you hear things like that, does it make you or inspire you to kind of go back and tap into that sound at least? Like, maybe you're not listening to it, but of course you guys understand and know what the sound on that was like. Does it ever inspire you to tap into that sound, or are you guys like kind of forever pushing yourselves forward to try new things?
I think the energy surrounding Landmark was a really great period of the band in terms of like our relationships with each other and how much time we spent writing songs compared to Bambi. So as far as the energy goes, I think we try to capture that on this past record and get back to that space, because Bambi was like honestly kind of a mess to make. So energy wise, yeah, I think songwriting wise, I feel like we're getting better and better with each record. That's just a goal of ours always, is to write the best possible songs.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of like swerving expectations, I think it's just us improving our craft over time, as we should. And yeah, moving into every project, we're just trying to like push ourselves as songwriters more and more.
I think there's also like a part of who we are naturally as a group of writers on both of those projects, obviously. So I'd say it's less of like going back to that for influence and just kind of trusting that like if we do what we feel and know feels best, that thing that you're talking about going back and looking for should and most likely will show itself while we create whatever's next. And it seems to have always done that. I feel like it's definitely done that on this record, which is kind of what you're talking about.
And I mean, that being said, like, we do love those albums. It's not a thing where we like hate those songs or anything. It's just sort of like seeing a picture of yourself wearing an outfit you wore 6 years ago and you're like, oh my god, like I was wearing that with that, but then in 10 years that is a cool thing to wear again, you know. So it's a matter of like things all coming back around to where you can appreciate
Fedoras will be back.
I could believe that. You guys seem to be very, very close and to have a really tight bond. And I imagine you guys are very honest with one another and probably push each other constantly. In what ways do you guys do that? Like, how do you guys continue to push each other to be more creative on the next project or the next track or record?
It's mostly physical.
Physical pushing, a lot of pulling.
Actually pushing.
I think we're still, I don't know. I would say that we have a desire to be very honest and open with each other, but we also are all pretty quiet and reserved when it comes to like feeling like comfortable expressing our true emotions and thoughts with each other, even though we should always feel comfortable, because none of us like are gonna truly walk away or be so devastated by what somebody else says. So we're getting there, but this last 2 years has been really helpful for that. Yeah, I think there's another part of that question that I'm missing, but
I mean, I think we're all just like changing so consistently as individuals that like the effort of trying to maintain that bond is in essence like just always moving us somewhere else, you know? So it's like we're changing on our own, and then like trying to stay together generates like a momentum together that pushes like the music somewhere else. So it's like sort of just like a current that we can't really control. You know, we're just floating in it, and our priority, our goal is to just like stay friends, stay making shit we like, stay making stuff we like, and that's kind of it. You know, it's just like if our next record is like actually a different genre, that's okay with us. You know, it's like we're not. If that's it, that's it.
There's also an element of like being inspired by each other, like hearing a song that like Zach will write and sitting with it being like, wow, this is amazing. I want to get better to just match this vibe, or Nathan or Whistler or DeCarlo. You know, it's like I am inspired by all these people as individual writers the same way I'm inspired by any other artist that I look up to.
For sure.
Almost like a competition. Competitive, like jealous, almost like,
or just
you're
like
so good, like shit.
Yeah, or a deep respect, like I need to up my game because y'all have upped your game.
Right, like healthy competition, it sounds like.
Yeah,
you got it.
Jake, I know that you released your debut solo album in 2020. What was that like, kind of stepping outside of the band and doing your own thing for that particular project?
I think it just gave me means to do something like experimental in that wave. But I think in the past, like I would try and force some of my own tastes upon the band, like production wise, it just didn't really like fit the group. So I think doing that project gave me an outlet for some of the stuff that just wouldn't fit in Hippo. And like even if I did try and like slam it in the spot, it just might make it contentious or like weird, you know.
Yeah.
Like what Nathan was saying, like we have all these songs we write all the time and we don't really want to see them die. So I think making that record was just like a bunch of songs I'd written that didn't fit in the Hippo vein. And then Nathan and I have another project called Baby Boys, which is even like weirder electronic music that just gave us another outlet for that. And then working on like different production projects, there's different outlets. I just feel like personally it like makes my relationship with these guys healthier and my relationship with myself healthier to just have a bunch of different outlets. So when it comes time to do Hippocampus again, like we know what that means and we're not trying to push it in a space it doesn't need to go in.
For sure. It's so interesting. It sounds like a relationship. Like everybody should have their own personalities and the things that they do on their own outside of said relationship. But then when you come together, yeah, like you said, it makes for a healthier space. I love that. I love that.
And it lets you like improve too. I feel like making that record, the confidence I gained from doing that on my own made me a better collaborator in this space. Cause it's like, okay, like I know what I can do by myself. These guys understand that, you know, and I mean, everyone here has their own projects as well. And I think like, you know, listening to Nathan's record, or Zach's record, or Wish's record, or DeCarlo's band, like I have a greater appreciation and respect for what they do, you know. And I feel like it just makes us all better collaborators.
For sure. For sure. I love that. Okay, so we're going to get into our first segment before we get into our game, and it's called It Came From the Comments. I feel like I need to announce it. It came from the comments, because the comments can be a scary place sometimes. These are from YouTube comments from different videos that you guys have out there. I kind of pulled a few from fans who either left commentary or left questions or whatever the case may be. And we'll kind of chat through some of the things that people said. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Sounds like a nightmare. Great. Let's do it. Okay, so the very first comment is from this person. Jermina2 says, love their brotherhood/friendship as always. I think their strong bond resonates in their music too. That's pretty dope that people can actually feel that connectedness in your music. Is that intentional, or is that does it just happen naturally?
I don't think it's intentional, right? Like we don't sit there and be like, how do we show like our bond?
How do we resonate brotherhood?
How do we commodify our friendship?
You know what the world needs right now is a bunch of brotherhood.
Gross.
Commodify.
I mean, we are all best friends when we hang out. We really hang out with each other the most out of anyone. So I think it's just a natural thing. We're friends first before we started this band. And
what happened?
Yeah, I know what happened.
What's happened to us?
What happened?
I'm curious, what do you guys do to like maintain that? Like, what do you guys do in your free time when you're not working? What is something that you guys just love to do together? And I know this sounds so sappy, but truly, I want to know.
On three, 1, 2, 3. Watch Love Island.
Love Island.
Love Island.
Of all things.
Drinking.
Love Island.
We watch a lot of reality TV.
Jack loves everybody except me loves, and DeCarlo maybe loves poker.
I love
Nice.
poker.
I love poker.
Yeah, poker's
Only a
good.
couple of us like poker.
We kind of just like find weird reasons to like all get together and do nothing basically. We had a lot of Quiplash, like Jackbox, that TV
Yeah.
for a while. It's kind of died out.
Overwatch.
We did some for Zach's partner's birthday. We did like a murder mystery thing. That was pretty fun.
Ooh.
No, that was
sounds
in
fun.
person. That was last
You like
year.
buy a pack and it's like, so you assign characters.
We dressed
like,
up.
You're,
It's like, how was that?
you're Kobe
You were
and
invited
Joe.
to it. but you didn't
Again,
come.
Bob.
I don't know. What do friends do? You
Not
know,
a
that's
lot.
what we do. We
I
do
love
what friends
that.
do.
People in the chat are pretty hype off of the Jackbox commentary, the
Hey.
Quiplash commentary, and also Love Island. I'm curious, what are you guys' top 3 reality shows you guys watch together? So Love Island.
We don't watch them together.
The Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Yeah. Bachelor in Paradise was good.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
we watched.
Yeah.
Zach and I watched them for a while.
But I'm currently going through Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Ooh,
That-
okay.
That's a must watch if anyone is curious.
I do enjoy Catfish. That's pretty fun.
Yep.
My girlfriend and I watch Catfish.
Shark Tank. I've been really into
Love
lately.
Shark Tank.
Like
Non-stop
capitalist bullshit, dude.
Shark Tank. Yeah.
Bull crap.
Love on the Spectrum.
Love on the Spectrum is amazing.
Amazing.
So done.
Oh my god, it's like wrapping yourself in a blanket and dying. It's so sweet.
I love it. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Next one is from Ultra Eagle. This is the second video that Whistler has been killed / knocked out by a hit to the head. Talk
That
to
was
us
the-
about that.
That was my whole point. That was the point.
He's great at watching. Whoever commented this is great at watching the video because it was a like little Easter egg intentional thing.
Yeah.
So props to Alter Eagle.
Way to go,
Keep your eyes
Alter Eagle.
out for those eggs.
We did like a promo video
Oh,
for our first EP.
it's on YouTube.
There's sort of Wes Anderson-y, I guess,
like
where
Plagiarizingly.
It's like golf
Close.
themed, and I just get knocked out from a golf club and I get carried into a golf cart, and I was like, what if I just played dead? And then that was the end of the video.
Oh my God. Wait, why is that a reoccurring theme though? Like at what point did you guys determine like, yeah, we should do this all the time?
I guess basically for that ride or die shoot was the first time we've considered doing that again, but who knows
that
if
the
we're
whole
ever
ride or
gonna-
die video is like a callback to just
Yeah,
like the early
that's
days
true.
of the band. We had our van broke recently, so we have to lay him to rest on Saturday, which is sad. So
Oh, rest in peace to your van.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we wanted to make the video like an ode to all those years of touring and shenanigans
yeah.
that we got into as a band over time.
Ridiculousness.
I love that.
RIP.
People, when we were watching the video, people were like, what's going on in that van? And then someone else said, everything is going on in that van. Like, too
Yeah,
much
yeah.
is happening in that van.
Leave it up to the imagination.
We're dancing. We're dancing.
We're just driving. It's supposed to look like we're driving.
Horizontal
Yeah.
combo.
Did it not look like we were just driving down the street?
No, I think it was when the van was like rocking that scene.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, look,
There,
we're just driving.
Dancing.
Casually.
Dancing.
So I imagine, do you guys have a lot of like creative freedom as far as the creation and the production of your music videos go?
Probably a little too much. No, actually, we used to
No.
have a lot of say, and then they took it away from us.
I
Like,
don't. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, we wrote like 4 music videos, and they were like, "This is impossible. We can't do this."
Oh yeah. I mean, early on, we tried to have a big hand in it, and then we kind of just like gave up the reins. And then recently, I think since we've been putting, the EP kind of came out, which we kind of had some input on, but these last couple singles for the album, I think was the first time that we felt like I don't know. It felt like what we were trying to provide was actually like worthwhile and was working. And I think we're creeping closer and closer to being able to like have more input and be able to be a little more like self-contained in that sense. I think that would be my ideal situation.
Cool. Okay, so random question. You guys are laying your van to rest. Does your van have a name?
Oh my gosh.
Crackers.
What is
Yeah,
it?
his name's Crackers.
Okay, you're laying Crackers to rest. R.I.P. Crackers. What are you guys getting next? Are you guys getting a van that looks just like Crackers and just like throwing everything in that one, or are you doing something
We're
different?
gonna buy a plane.
Ooh,
Private
what?
No. We had him for how many? 6 years it's been or something. And he just finally, we haven't really been using him, and
He said enough
and
is enough.
we did with the band. It was like maybe once or twice a year we would utilize him. So we are donating him to somebody who is willing to fix him up.
Oh,
And
nice.
we were just like, do we want to spend the money, or do we want to just like let it? We don't have anywhere for him to live. He's homeless. He's just
Oh,
living on the streets.
abandoned.
Freezing his ass off. So
Maybe
I
there's
love
a
that.
we're not getting anything else.
Gotcha.
I think we're all just ready to be done with taking care of a 15-passenger van.
That's real. That's understandable. I love that. Oh, so it all makes sense. The ode to the van right before he kind of exits the exit stage left.
Ride and die.
Right, exactly. I love it. Okay, the very next one is, who is this? This is Milo. And Milo says, as much as I miss their old sound from Landmark, I love that they're not scared to evolve and grow towards different and strange directions. They never linger in a moment too long. And where they go is just so amazingly beautiful and creative. So with that question, I guess it kind of goes along with like my question about how do you guys continue to evolve and push yourselves creatively? Is there something you guys do personally? Because I imagine as a collective, sure, that happens. But what do you do on a personal level to ensure that you're growing?
Scales.
Yeah, we practice a lot.
What don't we do?
Scales.
Do you put a lot of pressure on yourselves?
I think we're just creating so consistently as a group and as individuals that if you find yourself making something that you've already made before, it's a natural sort of de-inclination to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that a word?
Yeah, sure.
It is
Does it-
today.
Decline. Either way, you just don't want to do the same thing twice. So as we do that as individuals and we do that as a band, it's like it's just natural that we're not going to want to like write something we've written before.
Yeah.
And we also enjoy when an artist can sort of imagine themselves at any point in their career. Like we love a good, like, I mean, some of our favorite bands, like a consistent sound is what we like, but to deny them what got them to that first sound is really hypocritical. So like you got to be able to evolve.
Yeah.
It's definitely I don't know, I feel like most people, whether they are super aware of it or not, have gone through the process of listening to an album by a band and loving it, and then listening to another album and being like, well, it just kind of sounds the same, you know. That happens a lot, and I feel like specifically for me that happened with one of our bands that we were heavily influenced with early on, and that struck a chord for sure and just made me, I don't know.
There's a lot of different writers and voices here too, so I think you know, we might have an edge in that way that like where it's not just one dude kind of like writing it and going back to the same tendencies. Like we have a lot of different writers in this project who are like trying to evolve and work on other stuff. So.
It's also a two-way street with the listenership, I think, because I don't think people really understand that they're changing and evolving too, and it's like you like a song because of yourself, you know. It's not because of like what the writer is putting into the song. It's literally because of you as the consumer, as the listener. It's like you are eating this thing and because you like it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, maybe take a step back and look at yourself, you know, and just be like,
cool.
Sorry guys. But it is very true, I think. It is very true. Like it's a two-way street. So yeah, we're changing, but y'all changing too. So
right.
It's still a pizza, but it might have different toppings on it.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's the best. Maybe wine.
Exactly.
That's
not
such a good way of putting it.
Still pasta,
I like aged
but it just
wine.
has different toppings.
If you take a bag and you put a hot dog bun in the bag,
Oh Jesus!
Thank you.
is it still a bun?
It's a bun in a bag. Listen, people in the chat are going nuts. I can't wait to hear Mojo Jojo live. Justice for Sula. Several people have said justice for Sula.
Wow, those are really fans.
Better book than a song.
Yeah, wow. Sorry, Sula's dead forever.
Sula and Cracker, goodbye. All right. Next one is from Alexander, who said, how do they manage to continually drop completely new and fresh bangers every single time? These guys are so talented. It's unreal.
You guys like cherry pick these comments. Like this is too nice.
I mean, no, honestly, there were
It's a
so
bad
many nice
comment.
ones. Listen, sometimes I like the drama. So if there was some drama, I would have threw it in.
Really nice
These
to
are very
do.
flattering comments, so thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Thank you. Keep them coming.
Yeah, next.
Is this our mom?
Right, exactly. That's hilarious. The next one's kind of similar to it too. Love the evolution that's been happening right in front of us with hippocampus. I mean,
Can't get away from
Thank
the
you.
from the,
Right.
that
Yeah.
thing.
Seems like people are supportive.
Yeah, I mean,
Here we go growing again.
Here I go growing.
so listen, someone in the chat, Nader823 says hippocampus is like mozzarella sticks because I can't stop eating either of them.
thank you.
What the fuck?
It was like what you said.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Justice
right.
for conviction.
Eating.
Wow, the chat is going ham.
I was like, you can't stop
I'll
eating
score
mozzarella
sticks.
Or
or
sticks.
sticks.
God.
Come on.
I'm confused.
I'm confused. I love it. Joaquin Soto said, all this new stuff feels so different and experimental while still having that underlying vibe that's so cool. I think just the point of experimentation is pretty cool. Is there a direction that you guys want to go in the future that maybe you haven't done at all that kind of like scares you, but you're interested in pursuing at some point?
I mean, from day one, we've always talked about doing like an acoustic album, a punk album, like a cover album, just like a bunch of weird stuff that probably, hopefully, will never happen.
Christmas. Halloween
Christmas,
spectacular.
yeah.
Oh yeah. We had this idea to do a Halloween Christmas album. Where, like, we
that sounds
take-
dope.
We rewrite Christmas songs to fit Halloween. Like it's the spookiest time of the year. Yeah,
So you get it. It's like Christmas, but Halloween.
that's all we got right now. But,
Yeah.
It's been a rough 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as what we haven't done yet, I think what Zach was saying, like doing something really like energetic and like raw and loud and aggressive could be cool, and doing something that's like really pretty.
That's
Or
where I
something
think
we haven't made an ambient album or
Yeah.
anything, which we've always talked about.
I feel like the last EP we did this summer was kind of the beginning of that, and we've kind of loosely talked about having EPs going forward being like this kind of experimental space where we can just not really be tied down to anything or have any stake in what we're about to release, and
Right.
so who knows what we're gonna do.
Would you guys ever consider a live album? Someone asked in the chat.
That's a good question.
Well, I guess
We've
we
considered it.
Yeah, I guess we are considering it.
Yeah. Dope.